What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Justin J.Will, whatever you want to call me, one time for your mind. Checking in on the Cheat True podcast. Hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Whenever you may be listening to this, whatever day you may be listening to this. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy. Because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you rocking with me. So I appreciate it. NFL football, man, week 1. A lot of things to talk about, man. Cowboys. Man, looking shaky. Looking shaky down there in Dallas, man. Dak Prescott looking shaky out there. Lost to the Panthers 16-8. We'll talk about that. We all football today, man. All football. Pretty much just going to give you guys my reactions and just a couple things I want to talk about to you. I won't be long, I promise. But first, church announcements. I know I said that I was going to do an episode on college and is college worth it. I was going to do an episode on that. And I said that a while back. I guess it wasn't that long ago, probably like a week or two ago. And I was like, hey, it's going to come out next week. And it never came out. So I apologize for that. There's a reason for it. The main reason is because I sat down and recorded. And as I'm, doing my little research or whatnot, getting my notes, I'm like, you know what? Let me just wait. I want to really make sure that episode is right. Because that's a really big, that's one of the things I really want to do on this platform. Like, of course, I'm sports, a lot of sports, but I also want to do episodes like that. I want to use this platform to help people make rational decisions and to make informed decisions and not just what society tells them to do, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to use this platform for more than just blabbering about sports and how overrated guys like Saquon, Barkley are coming out of college. So I will put that episode out soon, man. But let's see, anything else I want to say? I feel like I'm missing something. I knew I wanted to talk about that. I knew I wanted to announce that. Oh yes, I got a Spreaker account. So if you guys don't know what Spreaker is, it's kind of like Podbean. It's basically a platform, radio platform and whatnot. So I'll be doing some things over there. It allows me to go live, do live broadcasts. So I'll start doing that soon. But let's get into the New York Giants and the Jaguars. And I want to get into this game for a specific reason. And y'all already know why. I mean, it's not any secret. It's not a secret. No black box. Y'all know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Saquon Barkley. So, first of all, Jaguars beat the New York Giants 20-15. No surprise there. I picked them to win the game. I picked them to cover. I'm not surprised by that at all. Saquon Barkley, if you look at the box score, let's see here. He had 106 yards, 1 touchdown on 18 carries. That looks pretty good, right? This is why you can't just look at raw numbers sometimes. Like, numbers don't necessarily tell the whole story. So Saquon Barkley, this was his first NFL game. We know that. And this was his first game. And it came against a hell of an opponent in Jacksonville. I mean, we know that they aren't really that formidable on offense. But defense, they're the truth. Up front, they're the truth. Second level linebackers, they're the truth. Secondary, they're the truth. They are the truth on defense. For sure. So he had a hell of a time. He picked the right game. He picked the right game to debut in, basically. But yeah, on paper, look good. Look good. Now, the thing is, he had like a 6 to 8 yard touchdown run late in the game, which in my opinion was pretty much the result of Jacksonville's poor tackling efforts. It's more of Jacksonville and what they didn't do rather than what Saquon Barkley did. But hey, gotta give it to him. He hit the edge. He ended up getting outside, and just was able to outrace everybody to the end zone. Good for him. So he had a 68-yard touchdown run. Now up until that point, he had about a 2.3 yard per carry average. He was like at 16 carries for around like 37 yards, give or take, which is horrible. That's horrible. That's definitely not second overall pick type of numbers right there. Now, I will give you this. His offensive line was not doing him any favors. And I think that's going to be that's going to be a common theme all season. They were not doing him any favors. I don't know how in the hell Eric Flowers still has a job. I don't get it. I mean, he just flat out stinks. He is not very good at all. And to Saquon Barkley's credit again, like I said earlier, he was going up against pretty good defense. He's not going to have to go up against Jacksonville for the next 15 games in the season. So he'll get a breather. He'll get a breather there. But you look at it, man. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see how Saquon Barkley is going to dominate the running back position. I just don't get that. If you're taking a guy second overall, I don't care who he is, whether it's quarterback, whether it's running back, whether it's offensive lineman, whether it's tight end, whoever. If you pick a guy second overall, you are betting on him to be dominant. You want that guy to dominate. And I just don't see that from Saquon Barkley, man. I don't think that Saquon Barkley will ever be a dominant running back. He will be a very good player. I think that he has too much God-given ability to not make an impact and to not be a good player. I've said this over and over again. But I just don't see it, man. I don't see dominance. I didn't see it yesterday. I saw a guy who ripped off a big run, big whoop. Which I think that it was more of what Jacksonville didn't do rather than what he did. I don't see it. When I think of dominance, man, when I think of generational talent, which is what everybody's telling me that Saquon Barkley is going to be, everybody's saying it, all the blog sites, all the Bleacher Reports out there. I haven't seen somebody make a comparison that he was like Marshall Faulk. He was going to be a Marshall Faulk type guy. That's a big name right there. That's big shoes to fill. Even if it's just halfway filling. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest running backs of all time. I just don't see it. I don't see him ever being it. I don't see him ever being just a great running back. I saw on a blog, of course I can't remember exactly where it was. It may have been on like a Reddit post or something from a while back. And I think he was actually still in college. And somebody said that Saquon Barkley is basically a bigger Chris Johnson. Now, I scoffed at that comparison when I looked at it. But then I thought about it. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. I mean, you look at Chris Johnson and what he did. Chris Johnson was a home run hitter. And he was a damn good home run hitter for a while. I mean, Chris Johnson, he probably was more than a home run hitter. Chris Johnson for the Titans, played for the Cardinals at the end of his career. I mean, he had like a 2,000-yard season one time. Fast as hell. Had one of the fastest 40s at the combine ever. He could catch the ball out the backfield, and he was pretty much just a home run hitter. That's what he did very well. He did it very well. And Saquon Barkley is that type of player. If he's not hitting home runs, he's not doing much. And that's what he did yesterday. That's what he did against the Jaguars. He didn't hit home run. He finally hit a home run. After going 0 for 5, he finally stepped up to the plate and he hit a home run. He finally did. But if I'm taking you second overall, I'm expecting you to be better than that. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I'm taking you second overall, dude, look, I got to be able to give you this ball 30 times, and you need to rip off like 160 yards, 170 yards, maybe more, and give me some catches out the backfield, a couple touchdowns. If I'm taking you second overall and running back, you have to be a Todd Gurley. You got to be Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I know it's just one game. It's just one game. And as I've said before, he will have good games. He will have some Sports Center moments. Of course, I don't even know if the Sports Center even come on anymore. I don't even know what the hell ESPN doing. I looked at First Take for the first time in a minute. Because if you guys have been listening to the podcast for a minute, then you know I disconnected my cable a little while ago. But I was looking and I'm like, what the hell? Like, ESPN has some new shows and some new lineups, whatever. But whatever. That's besides the point. Saquon Barkley's gonna have some pretty good games. He's gonna have some Sports Center highlights. He's gonna have some Bleacher Report highlights, just like he did against the Jaguars. But if I'm taking you second overall, and especially being the Giants in their situation with Eli Manning, which I don't know if Eli Manning will ever be an above average quarterback again. I think that he's pretty much gone. I don't think that that's going to happen. I still say that they should have taken a quarterback or either traded down. Either take a quarterback, Josh Rosen, even Sam Darnold, trade it down. Got you a good running back, somebody like Nick Chubb, which he didn't do too high yesterday. But, of course, that's the Browns. And I've said that I'm not really a big fan of where he went because it's a crowded backfield, Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson Jr. But second overall, I need more than that. And I still say that the Reggie Bush comparison stands. I just think he does. I think it does. He's going to be Reggie Bush. Make good plays, going to make splash plays, but at the end of the day, he won't live up to that number 2 overall pick. And you saw some of that against the Jags. The guy had a 2.3 yard per carry average. 2.3. 2.3, man. 2 yards. A 2-yard average. Up until that really long run. And that jacked the number up. Perfect example of when numbers don't tell the whole story. It's just like Matt Stafford. You look at Matt Stafford's number. Yeah, I know I got to take a shot at him. Even if that is my own team. You look at Matt Stafford's number, you're like, whoo. Man, he's really good. But then you look at the record. And you look at him not having any playoff wins. Barely any playoff games. And you see why, a lot of people are not really that high on him. Even though he has really good numbers. So numbers don't tell the whole story. And in this case, the numbers don't tell the whole story of Saquon Barkley. He did not play well. He'll have some good games this year. I believe it. But I still say that my take as far as him being Reggie Bush 2.0 is going to stand. And I do like that Chris Johnson comparison. It makes sense. Fast guy, home run hitter. If he's not really doing that, he's not really doing too much else. If he's not hitting home runs. But even then, Chris Johnson was more than just a home run. Like, Chris Johnson was a really good running back in his heyday. He was a really good running back. But I can see how the two styles collide and how they compare and how they're similar. So, but yeah, man, I'm not no Saquon Barkley hater. I'm just a realist. This the cheap truth. You guys know how I do it, man. Hey, I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I always go the route that I want to go. And just because everybody's jumping on the Saquon Barkley hype train doesn't mean that I'm going to. Never forget, Trent Richardson had a pretty good rookie year. Yeah, remember he had a pretty good rookie year with Cleveland Browns. You see how that turned out. and I was screaming all along. My boy AC can vouch for this. Trent Richardson will not be good in the NFL. I said that Eddie Lacy would be better, and Eddie Lacy was better. Now, Eddie Lacy ate himself out the league, but that's still better than anything Trent Richardson was able to put together. I'm just saying. I'm not saying Saquon Barkley is going to be Trent Richardson. I don't even think he's going to be close. But I'm just saying, I've been down a road similar to this one before. That's all I'm getting at. So, but yeah, man. I really didn't watch a lot of this game. I guess the whole matchup with Jalen Ramsey and Odell really didn't live up to the hype. But Odell did end up snagging 11 receptions for 111 yards. So a lot of people were all up in arms about that. But, yeah, I'm not surprised the Jags won. No real analysis here. Just wanted to talk about Saquon Barkley. But let's get into the other games, man. So, let's talk about the Cowboys and the Panthers. So, I actually picked the Cowboys to win this game. And, of course, they disappointed me. And, of course, I shouldn't have picked them. But, it's a pretty close game. The Panthers won 16-8. Dak Prescott finished. What did Dak Prescott finish? 19-29 for 170 yards. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And Cam Newton finished the game 17-26 for 161 yards. Had 58 yards on the ground and a touchdown, rushing touchdown and whatnot. So, I tweeted this out, that if there was a football equivalent for struggle bars, if you guys ever heard somebody say, oh, he's spitting those struggle bars. What the hell is wrong with him? Writing those struggle bars, as far as like rappers or whatnot. If there was a football equivalent for that, it would be the Dallas Cowboys offense. Because they were struggling, boy. They look bad. I just read the numbers off. Dak Prescott, under 200 yards passing, 0 touchdowns. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. This your third year. Now, of course, they're going up. They went up against a pretty good defense in Carolina. Now, Carolina ain't nothing to scoff at. You know what I'm saying? Them boys, Kawan Short and Julius Peppers. Even though Julius Peppers is, getting long in the tooth, he's still a pretty good, productive guy. And he's still a freak. No matter how old he gets, he's still a damn freak. Freak of nature. Future Hall of Fame, all that. So they still have a pretty good defense. Shaq Thompson, damn good front seven. Now the back end is a little meh, but having such a good presence up front can kind of shield that a little bit. And on top of being able to shield it, Dallas doesn't have anybody to threaten Carolina. Allen Hurns, he hasn't been good since like 2015, and they gave him that money. I'm starting to wonder how good was he really, because the Jaguars, that was when the Jaguars was going like 4-12 and 3-13. They were out of a lot of those games, so Blake Bortles' numbers were inflated, and maybe his numbers were inflated too. You know what I'm saying? But no disrespect to him. He worked his ass off for his money. Nothing wrong with that. But, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, don't even get me started on no damn Tavon Austin. I don't even know who starts for the Cowboys at tight end. I don't even know who started yesterday. I know Rico Gathers, I guess he was supposed to be the starting tight end, but he didn't play. Got caught with some weed or whatnot. I don't know if that was the reason why he didn't play. But, I don't know who these guys are. I don't know. I still like Michael Gallup, the rookie, but he's a rookie, and he has to learn. He's going to have some good games. I think he's going to have some good games. I like him. Terrence Williams, I don't know why in the hell he even got a new contract a season or two ago whenever he got his new contract, because he is so inconsistent. He just disappears off the face of the earth from time to time. Well, forgive me, not from time to time, like all the time. I think he probably had like 1 or 2 catches yesterday. He had an appearance, but that's about it. Ezekiel Elliott didn't do much. Had like 60 yards on the ground, 60-something yards on the ground. They only gave the ball to him like 15 times. And that's just not enough for Zeke. That is not enough for Ezekiel Elliott. He needs the ball more than 15 times. He is a workhorse back. He is a 3-down back, a legit 3-down back. So I'm surprised they didn't get a ball to him more. Now, Carolina didn't do that much better on offense. I mean, I just read out the numbers about Cam Newton. And what he finished, he didn't throw for 200 yards. Dallas defense is pretty good. And I've said this before, like, don't be surprised if Dallas becomes run the ball, play defense. That's pretty much what they're going to have to be for the rest of the season, because they are not that good on offense, and they're not that good at the skill position. You know what I'm saying? That they're not good at wide receiver. They're not good at tight end. Cole Beasley, I mean, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Go get out of here, man. Go make some freestyles, do it up. He can occasionally come through with a clutch 3rd down and 7 catch maybe. But that season he had two years ago, Dak's rookie season, was just that was an anomaly. That was not who Cole Beasley is. Like, and it's showing you, and it's showing. It's showing. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably like, well, Dak's rookie season, that whole 20 touchdown, 4 interception season, that may have been an anomaly too. That may have been just luck. So, hey, I get it. I still think Dak's pretty solid, man. He's never going to be, is his ceiling like a Carson Wentz? No, it's not. But do I think that you can get to the playoffs with Dak? Yeah. Do I think you can win some playoff games with Dak? Yeah. I think you can. But, you know, he's never going to be able to carry a franchise like Andrew Luck. Like, Andrew Luck is carrying the Colts. He's absolutely carrying them on his back. He's not going to be able to do that. Dak Prescott will never be that guy. He's pretty much, he can be a cog in the system. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to put the team on his back and lead them to victory, basically. Like, hey, come on, team. Get on my back and let's go. He's not that type of guy. And I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, though. Like, if you can put the pieces around him and, you know, coach him up. And I think that's another problem, too. I don't like Jason Garrett. I think they need another coach. If you put the right pieces around him and you coach him up, I think he could be pretty solid. But I'm not ready to give up on Dak Prescott because he had a bad game against a really good defense. I'm not ready to give up on him because of that. I mean, Carolina's probably going to make a lot of teams look like that this year. I mean, Kawan Short, for you guys, he may not be a household name like Aaron Donald or somebody like that, but Kawan Short is like top 5, top 7 defensive tackles in the league. You know what I'm saying? He's there with the Geno Atkins of the world. He's there. He's up there. Okay. He is a very good defensive tackle. And you saw it in that game. So I'm not ready to give up on Dak Prescott because of this one game. Now, I will say, if I'm a Cowboys fan, the spidey senses should be tingling at this point, because that was bad. They're not gonna look like that all the time, because they're not gonna be going up against Carolina all the time. But that was bad. That didn't look good. That did not look sharp at all. Your spidey senses should be tingling at this point, because I don't know if that's something that's. It's one thing when you got a bunch of new players and it's like, okay, well, you know what? Remember in basketball, the Heat, and they brought in LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Well, Dwayne Wade was already there, but it was like, well, you know, we got to wait a little while. Got to get in sync. You know what I'm saying? Got to get the pieces, all rolling around together and all playing together well, get the game plan in place and all that, and everything will be fine. I don't know if that's going to happen with Dallas and that offense. I just don't think they're very good. I just don't. I don't think they're very good. According to that game. Now, I've said that I think that they can be solid. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to have second thoughts. Because that was not good at all. So, not ready to give up on Dak Prescott. Not ready to give up on the Cowboys. Because, like I said, if you want to look at the glass half full, defense played pretty well. Man, you hold Cam Newton, former MVP, 16 points. You hold him to 16 points. That's pretty much all you can ask for. That's pretty much all you can ask for, man. Hey, if your defense holds the other team to 16 points or less, or 17 points or less, that's pretty damn good. So I think that that's something that Cowboys fans can hang their hat on, but that they're not. That it's going to be interesting to see what the Cowboys end up doing this year. No Dez, no real outside weapons. Nobody threatens you on the Cowboys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because that's not going to get better anytime soon. Like, Allen Hurns just not going to all of a sudden turn into Jerry Rice. Cole Beasley's not just going to all of a sudden, turn into Calvin Johnson or somebody like that. I mean, this is something they have to deal with. Now, I think they'll play better against New York, against the Giants, primetime football. But once again, that's another really good defense too. So they'll have something to prove after losing against the Jaguars. But yeah, not ready to give up on Cowboys yet. But I will say that you guys, the Cowboys fans, your senses should be going off, man. The Batman signal should be up, because it doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. So, shifting gears a little bit, staying in the NFL, of course, because we all about football today. Let's talk about the Patriots and the Texans real fast, man. So, Deshaun Watson made his return, and he didn't do very well. He finished 17-35, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and Tom Brady did what he did, finished 26-30 for 277, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Looked very sharp, looked pretty good. Rob Gronkowski was in Gronk form, typical Rob Gronkowski form. Had 100 yards receiving, had a touchdown, and he looked dominant as usual. Now, why am I touching on this game? Now, for you guys who've been listening to the podcast for a minute, you know that I did an episode on Deshaun Watson. And on the Chief True podcast, I take pride, and I stand with my hand over my heart when I say this. I take pride in telling you guys the truth and giving you guys my humble opinion. I love it. I love doing it. I love giving it to you guys. And I appreciate you for listening, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So I appreciate it. But, Deshaun Watson, he had a pretty good year last year. Had a pretty good year. He was having a damn good year up until he got injured. But I'm like, yeah, let's pump the brakes a little bit on Deshaun Watson. It's just 1 year. He didn't even play a full season. Just 1 year. Just half a year. You know what I'm saying? Let's just wait. Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame. Let's not put him in Canton. Okay? Let's not do that. Let's just wait. Let's just see. We'll give him his props. I gave him his props. Always gonna give props when props is due. But let's just relax. Let's see if he can do it again. Let's see if he can do it for a full season. Now, my concerns with Deshaun Watson has always been, can he stay healthy? I mean, the guy's had 2 ACL injuries. Oh yeah, in both legs. And both of them were non-contact injuries. Non-contact injuries You know what I'm saying? Injured at practice in college and in the pros. So that worries me. I don't know if the guy can stay healthy. He didn't look good yesterday. Now, it's one game. Once again, of course, overreaction. Overreaction Monday. Overreaction Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. Monday morning quarterback. Of course. I get it. But, and on top of that, he's coming off an injury. I get that. I understand. But I'm just saying, you know, you guys want to put these guys in the Hall of Fame so damn quick. You're ready to put Saquon Barkley in the Hall of Fame so quick. You're ready to put Derek Carr in the Hall of Fame so damn quick. You're just so ready to put these guys on a pedestal and put them up there with it. Like, I've actually seen people say that Saquon Barkley is currently a top 5 running back in the league. I swear, people are on drugs. You have to be on drugs if you believe it. You have to be. You have to be on drugs. It's nowhere in hell that Saquon Barkley is a top 5 running back in the league already. You are crazy. But, you know, with Deshaun Watson, man, he didn't look good. I think he'll eventually have some pretty good games. DeAndre Hopkins didn't do much. Bill Belichick pretty much did what he, you know, does best, trying to take the other team's best player out of the game. And that's what he did. But I expected Deshaun Watson to play better than he did. Just one game, but I'm just saying, man, let's keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on it. Because y'all was so quick to put him in the Hall of Fame and put him, you know, up there, elite talent, elite quarterback play. You guys want to put him there after half a season. So, something to watch. But, you know, I'm rooting for him. I'm unapologetically going to root for the black quarterback. I'm not rooting for the guy to get hurt or rooting for him to not do good just to, you know, come here and say, oh, look what I told you. Hey, look at me. I'm right. No, I want the guy to do well, be healthy. He's a good guy, great guy. You know what I'm saying? But we just got to slow down a little bit on the Deshaun Watson hype train. Let's see here. Ravens, Bills. Nate Peterman played terrible. Ravens beat the Bills 47-3, and it really wasn't close. Joe Flacco must have, you know, when they drafted Lamar Jackson, he got in the weight room or got into the gym and started doing sit-ups and crunches and all sorts of things, man. He got himself into pretty good shape because he played pretty well. 25-34, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns in just like 3 quarters. In less than 3 quarters. He did pretty damn good. He shredded the Bills. So Joe Flacco may be on his way to a bounce back season, you know, to keep Lamar Jackson off his back for a little while. But this game pretty much comes down to Nate Peterman. I mean, if you start Nate Peterman, dude, come on. This guy sucks. He sucks. I put a poll out on Twitter, and I said, if you needed somebody to start a game to save your life, well, to win a game to save your life, would you take Nate Peterman or Ryan Lindley? And I know you guys remember Ryan Lindley, right? I think he made a couple starts for the Cardinals. He made a couple starts for the Jets, which is crazy. Man, that guy was just horrible. I'm telling you, man, sometimes, bro, I mean, you could just tell that a guy's trash by his name. Like Nate Peterman. Like, come on, dude. Nah, fam. This ain't it. Nate Peterman sucks. Nate Peterman finished what? 5 of 18 for 24 yards. 5 of 18 for 24 yards. That's like 4 yards of completion. Come on. Now, he didn't have the whole 5 interception thing like he had last year. But sweet Jesus, 5 of 18 for 24 yards. You would have thought that the 2000 Raven team was out there with Rod Woodson and all them boys. To play that terrible, Ray Lewis was out there. I mean, sweet Jesus, that guy sucks. This is the guy that the Buffalo Bills and their Twitter account putting out hype videos out for. They putting them out and trying to hype them up. No, Nate Peterman sucks. Like Chris Carter used to say about Blaine Gabbert stinks. Well, Nate Peterman stinks. He absolutely stinks, man. So they ended up taking him out the game and putting Josh Allen in, which, I mean, I'm not a Josh Allen fan at all, but man, when you see Nate Peterman, there has to be another way. There has to be hope somewhere else. Josh Allen was like 6 of 15 for 74 yards. I mean, the game was over with. They just beat the brakes off the Bills. They just beat the brakes off of them. So, nothing else really left to be said there. Dolphins and the Titans, that was a long-ass game. Buccaneers and the Saints. Ryan Fitzpatrick, for some reason, ended up just torching the Saints. I mean, he was throwing touchdown after touchdown. He finished 21 of 28 for 417 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick now. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay, yeah. The guy who went to Harvard, the guy with the mustache, guy with the beard. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Play out of his mind. You know, man, that's the frustrating thing about fantasy and frustrating thing about this daily fantasy crap that I play. You know, I play DraftKings and whatnot. And I'm not finna go into detail about who I picked because I didn't win any money and all my guys did terrible. But, I mean, who could have predicted this? But then you'll get on there and you'll see some guy who's number one who selected Ryan Fitzpatrick. Just straight luck. Just straight luck. There's just a guy closing his eyes and throwing a dart at the dartboard and just somehow hitting the bullseye. That's all that is. Super frustrating. I'm like, come on. I guarantee you Ryan Fitzpatrick probably around like $5,000 on DraftKings. Nobody was picking him. Nobody. But I guarantee you there was one guy who ended up picking him. That's just like, man, I remember one time I was playing DraftKings, and I know I'm diverting a little bit here. I'm ranting. Probably about a year or two ago. And that was when J.J. Nelson for the Arizona Cardinals had a big game on like Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. So I'm like, who the hell is J.J. Nelson? And some guy had J.J. Nelson in his lineup. I'm like, bro, there's no way in hell. This is when J.J. Nelson was like a rookie. He wasn't getting any playing time, nothing like that. No real playing time. There's no way in hell you could have known that J.J. Nelson was just straight shots in the dark with a lot of this crap. Just straight shots in the dark. But Ryan Fitzpatrick did, 21-28, 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 0. Mike Evans did work. Deshaun Jackson did work. They just put it on the Saints. Now, the Saints ended up coming back a little bit. Score ended up being 48-40, but, Tampa Bay pretty much handled that game. They had control of that game all the way. So, Ryan Fitzpatrick, will he do that again? Probably not. But, man, I was just like, come on, bro. Really? I guarantee you somebody who picked it. Somebody. Just lucky as hell. But anyway, hey, sometimes what's the saying? It's better to be lucky than good. Hey, Steelers and the Browns, 21-21. This ended up being a tie. So I guess this was the shootout that I thought it was going to be. And it had some inclement weather too. I'm not saying that that's the reason why it wasn't a shootout, but it definitely didn't help the cause any. Tyrod Taylor played very bad. He was like 15-40. That's not good at all. Ben Roethlisberger really didn't play that well. Finished with a TD, 3 interceptions. I mean, this game was not that entertaining at all, to be honest. I mean, it got a little better at the end. Cleveland actually came back. Josh Gordon had the game time touchdown. But, I'm still very high on the Browns. I think that they will play better as time goes on. Did pretty well on the ground. But am I wrong in saying that I may be coming around on Baker Mayfield? Because I really do believe in the whole, chip on my shoulder. I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, I'm going to get in your face and point my finger at you, show you how good I am. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to work my ass off, dog. And I'm going to be better than you thought I was going to be. I believe in it. I really believe in it. And Baker Mayfield has that. And he does have that energy around him. You know what I'm saying? He can provide a spark. I mean, you look at him, what he did at Oklahoma. He comes in and he's letting that thing rip. And he can. I think he can be that type of player. When he's not grabbing his crotch. When he's not running from the police. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, Tyrod Taylor, I think that he has maybe 1 or 2 more games of playing like that, and they're going to put Baker Mayfield in. Because they didn't bring Tyrod Taylor over there to play like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't bring him there to play like that. Now, he did have a touchdown on the ground. He actually was their leading rusher, if I'm not mistaken. So, he can do some things for you on the ground that Baker Mayfield can't. I mean, Baker Mayfield can't do all that. Baker Mayfield can escape pressure. He can move around the pocket, but, I mean, he's not the athlete that Tyrod Taylor is. Not at all. He can't make plays on the ground like he can. But it'll be interesting to see, man. Tyrod Taylor, I mean, and they go down to New Orleans. It's going to be a tough test. Now, I know I said that Pittsburgh and Cleveland was going to be a shootout. But I really believe that New Orleans and Cleveland could turn into a shootout. Because now you don't got the inclement weather. Now you down there playing in the dome. You know what I'm saying? You playing in the dome. And you playing against a Hall of Fame quarterback, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, all-pro wide receiver, Alvin Kamara. I mean, you're gonna be tested. And I believe that Cleveland will be able to they'll be able to score some points down there. Myles Garrett played pretty well, looking like the beast that he was drafted to be. Man, he had like 2 forced fumbles, 2 sacks. I mean, he was all over the place. Just a freak of nature. But I believe that if Pittsburgh would have had Le'Veon Bell, they win that game. Now, James Conner played very well. Had over 100 yards rushing. But I just still believe that if Le'Veon Bell plays in that game, they win. I don't think that they're tying with Cleveland with Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. Now, Le'Veon Bell still out. And I must say this right here. It must be nice to be at a point in your life where you can sacrifice an $800,000 check. Because that's exactly what he did. That game check was worth like in excess of $800,000. Man, I wish that I was at that point in my life where I could just be like, you know what? Screw that $800,000. I don't need it. I'm going to stay at home and cook and watch HGTV or something. Screw that $800,000. It's because it's deeper than football. It's deeper than football. It's the principle. Screw that $800,000 check. I really wish that I was at a point in my life where I could do that. Because that would mean that I'm pretty good. I'm pretty well off if I could do that. No shade to Le'Veon Bell or anything like that. I'm just saying it'd be nice if I was in that position to turn down $800,000. Just saying. Let's see here. Chiefs and the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes made his first start. Chiefs beat the Chargers 38-28. I just want to say something real fast. First of all, Patrick Mahomes was pretty damn good. He looked special. 15-27, 256 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's still raw, but you can see the talent. You can see why Andy Reid traded up to get him. And that was against a damn good Chargers defense. That's why I thought the Chargers were going to win. Because I thought that they would be able to put some pressure on Mahomes. Hey, rookie, I mean, he's not a rookie, but it's his first start, basically. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess he started the game last year. But y'all get what I'm saying. He's young. He's a young quarterback. So I thought that San Diego would be able to put some pressure on him, force him into some bad decisions, and that they would ultimately get the victory. But that wasn't the case. Mahomes looked really good. And Tyreek Hill is just ridiculous. Tyreek Hill is a human cheat code. Okay? 7 catches, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And he had a kick return. Well, it was a punt return, I think. So, I mean, Tyreek Hill is just a damn good weapon, man. I mean, that guy is just ridiculous. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who just scares the living daylights out of people. When you say dominant, like I would say that Tyreek Hill at this point, can we say that Tyreek Hill is a dominant player? I think he is. When I think of dominance, man, when I think of a dominant player, I think of somebody who, like, regardless of what you think, in spite of what you try to do against them, the game plans that you put together, you know that the ball's coming their way. You know they're going to throw the damn ball to Tyreek Hill. You know that's finna happen. You know Tyreek Hill finna run deep. But ain't nothing you can do about it. You know Houston, Texas, Rob Gronkowski finna get this ball. But there's nothing you can do about it. He just reaches up, snags over you, get out of my way on the way to the end zone. We know what's finna happen, but we can't stop it. Like a dominant running game. Yeah, we know you finna get the ball. But there's nothing that we can do about it because you are just that dominant. Tyreek Hill is ridiculous, man. I love watching him play. Another thing I realized about Tyreek Hill too, man, is that so often in the NFL, you see guys who come in and they can run very fast and they can get past defenders, but they can't catch. Tyreek Hill is probably the first guy, maybe Deshaun Jackson. He's the other guy that comes to mind, but Tyreek Hill can actually catch the ball. Like, for him to be so fast and so small, he can actually catch the damn ball. I mean, he ain't dropping too many passes. At least not that I can see. If he gets past it, that throws on point, he's catching the ball. This ain't no Darius Hayward-Bay type deal going on. Like Darius Hayward-Bay, remember him? Selected by the Oakland Raiders. I think he actually still plays with Pittsburgh. Fast as hell. Fast as hell. But just can't catch. He can get past you, but he ain't finna catch it. You know what I'm saying? He can win the lottery, but he gonna lose the ticket. Tyreek Hill is not that guy. Tyreek Hill is... I really love watching Tyreek Hill play. I really love watching him play. So that's that game. Broncos, Seahawks. Really nothing really to say about that. You know, man, Von Miller had a pretty good game. I'm not going to speak on that. Redskins, Cardinals, not speaking on that. Packers and the Bears. So, Packers won 24-23. All I'm going to say about this game right here is, look, I'm a NFC North savant, okay, because I'm a Detroit Lions fan. And as I record this, Detroit's currently losing to New York, the rookie quarterback in Sam Darnold. They are currently losing 17-10. I'm not surprised. Matt Stafford's thrown 2 interceptions at this point. Now, they may come back and win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose that game. I would not be surprised at all. So, all I'm going to say is, as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, the Packers are going to always, they're going to go to the playoffs. They're going to win the division. There's just no doubt about it. And they play Minnesota next week. I think they're going to beat Minnesota. I really like what the Packers got on defense. I love their draft picks. Love them. I love Jaire Alexander. And I love Josh Jackson. Those were 2 first-round picks, man. 2 first-round caliber picks, man. Jaire Alexander and Josh Jackson. I like them. I think that they can they can end up being a pretty good tandem. Now, they're young, but I like them. So, I think that Green Bay is going to do what Green Bay does, man. As long as they have Aaron Rodgers, as long as they got 12 behind them, bro, they win in the division. The only way anybody else wins the NFC North, bro, is if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt, the Packers win that division every damn year. Just serious business. They going to win the division. Minnesota, we saw what Minnesota looked like against San Francisco. They look pretty good. That defense is solid. Very solid. Kirk Cousins looks sharp. Although it's against San Francisco, they're still pretty young on defense. You know, they don't really have any really good cornerstones or any elite players on defense, nothing like that. But Minnesota look good. But I still think that Green Bay is going to win the division because that's just what they do. As long as 12's back there, you saw him come back into the game, look bad in the first half, getting injured, but he was able to come back and put on a show, and he was able to do what Aaron Rodgers, is known to do. That's just what he does, man. He's just ridiculous. He's one of the GOATs. He's one of the greatest of all time. No doubt about that. And me as a Detroit Lions fan, I can come to grips with it. Even though I don't like the Packers like that, but hey, you got to give respect where respect is due. So, another thing to look at in this game is Mitch Trubisky, man. What are we doing with Mitch Trubisky? What are we doing with Mitch Trubisky? I mean, he finished 23 of 35, 171 yards. The hell's up with all these quarterbacks? It doesn't look like quarterbacks really did that well this week. Like, is it just me? Seems like everybody's throwing for under 200 yards. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he threw for over 200. Phillip Rivers did. But then you got guys, like Tyrod Taylor and Mitch Trubisky, Dak Prescott, Cam Newton. I mean, but then you got guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing for 400 yards. Just ain't weird to me. You know what I'm saying? But what we doing with Mitch Trubisky, man? What are we doing with Mitch Trubisky? Because I look at them on that last drive that they had. I mean, they had a chance to get the game. They had a chance to win it. Had a chance to go down and score a field goal. But he didn't do much. Now, is it him? Is it his receivers? Who knows? But I'm not that confident in Mitch Trubisky. I'm just not that confident in him. I don't think that he hasn't really shown me much. I mean, has Mitch Trubisky had a game where you were like, oh my God, 300 some yards, 4 touchdowns, something like that? Like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, he has some molding to do. He has some improvements to make, but okay, I see why they took him so high. He hasn't had one of those games yet, unless I missed it. Now, last year, he was very the Chicago Bears were very undermanned last year at the skill position. The wide receivers, I mean, Kevin White keeps getting injured. Cameron Meredith got injured early in the season. And then they had to bring guys like Kendall Wright out there. I mean, come on. They didn't have a lot around Mitch Trubisky. I mean, they got Allen Robinson this year. They brought in Taylor Gabriel. That's an upgrade. Or upgrades. I still like Jordan Howard. Still like the offensive line. Like Chicago has some they have some players. And they especially have some players on defense. Now they got Khalil Mack. I like that defense. And they'll only get better. But I'm not that confident in Mitch Trubisky, man. Also, Deshaun Kaiser made an appearance. And, of course, that's when Khalil Mack gets his, strip sacks and pick six when Deshaun Kaiser comes. Deshaun Kaiser is trash. He's trash, dude. That dude is trash. Trash. He's not Nate Peterman trash. But he's trash. So, but let's see here. I think that's probably all I want to cover for today, man. Like I said, as I'm recording this, New York and Detroit's going on. I don't know what to think about that game, man. LA and Oakland, they're going on. Let me just say something about LA. And I did an episode about this, and I'm going to make this point, and I'll be done. Everybody's on LA, and they made a bunch of good acquisitions or whatnot. A lot of names. Brandon Cooks, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, just to name a few. I mean, they put it together. And also they tried to go after Khalil Mack. But Oakland wasn't budging for their offer. So think about it. Think about this. They could have had Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, and Ndamukong Suh on the same defensive line. That would have been ridiculous. That would have been just unfair, if you ask me. And to give a guy like Wade Phillips, that would have been unfair. All I'm saying is with LA, man, just relax a little bit. Be humble. Okay? In Kendrick Lamar voice, be humble. You had a good year last year. Went to the playoffs. Won a division. Oh, that's good. I'm interested to see how well these guys are going to gel together. I'm interested, especially on defense. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in those free agents. Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, and Ndamukong Suh, man. That's a lot of personality between those three guys. How are they going to be able to manage that? I will be interested to see how that happens and how that plays out this season. Brandon Cooks, I mean, there have been some whispers about Brandon Cooks and how he's not necessarily the best guy to have in your locker room. So I'm interested to see how McVay handles these guys. Look good on paper. Looks very good on paper. But it's a team game, bro. And you got to be able to manage those guys. You got to be able to make it work. You got to be able to manage those personalities. That's what makes good coaches so good. That's what makes great coaches so great, that they can do that. You know what I'm saying? A Bill Belichick. Guys like that, man. So all I'm saying is the LA hype train, choo-choo, I understand, is leaving the station, much to the chagrin of everybody in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what LA does this year. I really want to see how things are going to play out with them, because we've seen so many times teams, they have a good year, they catch people off guard, and then the next year they don't end up doing anything. That they're off the radar. They're drafting in the top 5. They're drafting in the top 10. We've seen that so many times. It happens all the time. I forgot what the statistic is, but basically every year the same teams that went to the playoffs the previous year don't end up going to the playoffs the next year. It's like 4 or 5 new teams end up getting in. Like I said, I don't know the exact statistic, but it's something like that. You get a new batch of playoff contenders or playoff teams every year. So we'll see what happens with LA. And that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed. As always, follow me. Follow me on Instagram. I've been a lot more lately. I've been a lot more active on there lately. Hey, man, get on there, follow me. Twitter, follow me. I'm active there all the time, tweeting out stuff. Facebook page, follow that, like and follow, all that stuff, man. I always leave the social media handles in the description. So I will definitely talk to you guys this Friday, and I hope you have a good day. Be safe out there. Talk to you later. Peace.